based on its movement.
Queen covers more squares, but not king. King covers only 8 squares.
Queen plays
Queen
both
cover.
the role of rook and the bishop, so it is more important.
Okay, so queen covers more space. Let's write it down. What are the things? Queen covers more space. Queen covers more space. It moves like
Both
point number one.
rook and bishop.
It moves like both rook and
Bishop.
bishop. B-I-S-H-O-P, bishop. Okay. So both the points are absolutely correct. Both the points are absolutely correct. How many squares are there on a chessboard? Just a small question. How many squares are there in a
64.
chessboard?
64.
64 number of squares are there. That's nice. Okay, so let's discuss about the movement of a queen a little bit. We know the queen moves like a rook and a bishop, and the queen covers more space. But how many squares does the queen actually cover? How many squares does the queen actually cover? Let's count together, right? We know the queen moves like a rook, like in a plus sign, and it moves like a bishop in diagonally. We know this much. But how many squares does the queen actually cover? Let's count a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. If we count the square where the queen is currently, it will be 28 squares. It will be 28 squares. We know total number of squares are 64. We know total number of squares. Total number of squares. S-Q-U-A-R-E. Yes, S-Q-U-A-R-E. Squares are 64. Right now, what we have seen, the queen alone is covering. The queen alone is covering around squares that the queen is covering. It's around 28 squares. If we count the square where the queen is currently placed. If we add 4 more, it will be 32. If we add 4 more squares to this number, it will be 32 number of squares that the queen alone is covering. Can we say a lone queen can cover almost half of the chessboard? If we just add 4 more squares, if we add like just 4 more plus 4, can we say it is resulting in 32 squares, which is half of the entire chessboard? So a single queen can cover half of the chessboard just by itself. That is why we say the queen is the strongest piece. Okay. Now let's talk about the king. King is also known as the laziest piece of our chessboard. Could anybody tell me what's the reason?
He moves one step forward, either backward or sideways. So only one step he moves.
It moves only one step. Okay. If we count the number of squares that the king is covering right now, we know, like, in other words, we can also mention, yes sir, you are saying something. Yeah,
8.
Eight.
It moves to 8 squares. Yes. Just like the queen, the king moves in all the direction. It moves like a rook, up, down, left, right. It moves like a bishop, like diagonally. But wherever the king is moving, the king is only reaching, like the king is moving just one step. That's the drawback of the king. Basically, wherever the king wants, it can go, but only one step. So we say the king moves in all the direction, but one step. And if we count the number of squares that the king can actually move, that way we will get it is 8 squares together. Altogether, we are getting 8 squares. Okay. Okay. So let's start with the en passant. There are few points that I would like to discuss with everyone regarding en passant. Let's talk about that. Okay. E4, G6, E5, and D5. In en passant, what happened is, can we capture this D5 pawn during this en passant like this? Can we call this move an en passant move?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Nice. Nice. In en passant, there is one question. Let's say we are playing the knight on f3 and black is playing something like b6. Can we do an en passant right now?
No.
No, we cannot.
No, we can't. Okay, very good. Let's say we did the en passant once. The black took our pawn. We are again pushing the pawn forward. Let's say pawn a4, f5, a5, and black played b5. Can we do an en passant right now?
No, it can
No.
be done
No, we
only
You
cannot.
once.
can do it only once.
Okay. So over here, I would like to say a single pawn can do an en passant only once, but all the 8 pawns, we say all the 8 pawns can do their own en passant. A single pawn can only do it once, but other pawns can still do it. This is a little note that I would like to tell you about en passant. Note about en passant. Remember this. In en passant, we say a single pawn can do it once. That's it. A single pawn can do it once. But if you're talking about another pawns, the other pawns, they can still do it. Let's say I'm clicking onto this white pawn. The software is allowing me to capture it like this. Once we already did an en passant, but right now I can again do it, but not with the same pawn, with a different pawn. A single pawn can do it once, but the other pawns, they still have the power to perform it one more time. Any doubts in en passant?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Could you
ma'am.
just brief on that topic again, the en passant topic?
Sure, ma'am. Absolutely. Let's say we are pushing our pawns, we are playing our pawns. We know if the pawn moves 2 steps beside our pawn, then we can do an en passant like this. We know that. And let's say the opponent is not capturing our pawn. Then this pawn, which already did the en passant once, it cannot perform the en passant twice. This pawn has lost its power to do the en passant. Now, if you want to do an en passant, it should be either of any of these green pawns. That red pawn can't do an en passant right now. If you want to do it, we need to use any of these green pawns. Then only an en passant can be performed. Let's say, for an example, I'm pushing my pawn on b5. Black played something like, maybe they pushed a pawn. They will play the bishop g7. We played the pawn on b5. They played pawn a5. Now, again, the pawn moved 2 steps. Now we can do an en passant like this.
Okay.
Yes, sir. The same pawn can't do it, but the other pawns, they can perform the en passant. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Any more doubts regarding en passant, anyone? Okay. Okay. So let's talk about some tactics, some calculation, right? There are certain calculations that I would like to discuss about. These calculations have special names. Let's remove these things. Okay, let's talk about certain calculations. These calculations are well known by the name of double attack, double discovered attack. These are the names. Let's talk about discover attack first. The first thing we'll be doing is discover attack. Okay, discover attack. Whenever we say we are doing a topic on discover attack, we say there are 2 pieces. Let's understand this with an example, then we will go with the definition. Let's say we got a king, black king, we have a rook, and there's a white knight. Okay, let's say we have this position. Okay, we know the rook moves in a straight line, correct? The rook moves in a straight line like this. If we remove the knight in the from the path of the rook, if we remove the knight from e4, can we say the rook will be attacking the king? If we remove the knight out of here, can we say the rook will be attacking the king head on?
Yes.
Yes. So we can understand discover attack like this. When we are removing our own piece, and while removing it, another piece is uncovering an attack to the king, we call that a discover attack. Okay, there is a hidden attack over here. As you can see, the rook is attacking the king, but this attack is covered by the knight. Because there's a knight on e4, the rook is not able to attack the king. But when we are removing the knight from the path, it is uncovering attack to the king. So this is what we can say. It is a discover attack. Uncovering attack is called a discover attack. One thing to make sure is the piece that is covering our attack, that should be the white piece. If we are taking a black piece, still we will say that black piece is still covering the attack. We are taking a black piece and we are seeing the attack is still covered, but this time the white pieces are not covering it, but the black pieces is covering the attack, right? So this is not a discovered attack. This will be a different tactics. This will be a different type of calculation. So we need to make sure of one thing. Whenever we are talking about the discover attack, the piece which is covering the attack, that should be our own. This knight which is here, this should be our own piece which is covering the attack. This can be some another piece. It could be a bishop, it could be a pawn. Any piece which is covering the attack, we call it as a discover attack. So the definition will be attack which is covered, covered, covered by our own piece, or we can write it like this: attack which can be done by moving our piece, attack which can be done by moving our piece, and the piece behind it creates the attack. Attack which can be done by moving our piece, attack which can be done by moving our piece, P-I-E-C-E, yes, and the piece behind it creates the attack. So this is one. Again, what we are moving over here, we are moving the knight somewhere, and the rook behind it, it is creating the attack. Let's take an example of it. Let's take one more example of it. Just give me a second. Okay. Let's talk about this position. What we can say is there is a rook. There's a rook on e1. There's a bishop on e2. There are two pieces over here. And if we remove this bishop anywhere along the red arrow, can we say the rook behind it will create an attack onto the king? If we remove the bishop anywhere across the red arrow, can we say the rook behind it will create an attack to the king?
Yes. It will.
Yes.
Then this attack will be known as discover attack. Then this attack will be known as the discover attack. Okay. We now know if we move this bishop anywhere along any of these, on any of these red squares, it will be a discover attack. But only one square is a good move. Yeah.
Bishop to c4.
Bishop to c4. Okay. Any more answers? I got one answer, c4.
D1.
D1. Okay. Any more answers? Okay. So let's talk about both the moves one by one. Let's say we are playing bishop to d1. What is happening when we are moving the bishop from e2 to d1? The rook is again uncovering attack. This is a discovered attack. But the bishop, the piece which we are moving right now, that piece itself is also creating another attack. Excuse me. So the piece that we are moving right now, this piece itself is creating a new attack over here. So when the king is gonna save himself, we can get the queen. Let's say we are playing some another move. Let's say we are playing bishop to h5. This bishop to h5 move is also creating a discovered attack. Let's say bishop h5. Again, we are creating a discovered attack. But when the king is going to safety, we are not able to capture the queen. Yes, this is also be counted as a discovered attack. But in this tactic, what is happening? We are not able to take the queen, right? So it is not that good. So let's say we are playing either bishop to d1. Let's say we are playing either bishop to d1 or bishop to c4. The king is again going to safety. What is happening? We are easily getting the queen. Yes. So this is how, using the discovered attack, we can capture free pieces. using the discover attack, we can capture free pieces. Let's have one more example. Let's say this time we got this position, which is little different from the previous one. So can you guys tell me, how can we create a discover attack?
Knight to d4.
Knight to d4, okay. Knight to d4, one move. Is there any other move which can create a discover attack?
Yeah, for that you can move knight to other places as well. Like you can move to g5. That will also be discover attack, but in that case you will not be able to get queen.
But in that case, we will not be able to get queen. Okay, nice. So there are different squares where we can put the knight, and it will be a discover attack. Those squares are like, we can, if we play knight on e1, it will be a discover attack. g1, h2, h4, g5, e5, d4, even d2. All these squares, wherever we play the knight, it will be a discover attack. But in all these moves, we are just doing a discover attack. We are not getting any kind of profit or any kind of gain. But when we are playing the knight to d4, what is happening? Not only we are accomplishing a discover attack, but the knight is creating a new attack to the queen. So when the king is moving to safe squares, to safety, we can easily get the queen. The purpose of doing a discover attack is to distract our opponent's focus, right? It's like to distract the opponent's focus and get the piece that we want. If we directly attack the queen, let's say we are playing the rook over here. If you're directly attacking the queen without creating a distraction on board, the queen will easily get the rook, right? The queen can easily get the rook, or the queen can save himself. But when we're creating a distraction by playing knight to d4, this is the move. This is a check. Basically, this is a distraction. The opponent have to give the priority to the king. When the king goes to safety, we can easily get the queen. So distracting the opponent's focus onto a different piece and achieving our motive. This is how we can use our discover attack in a real game as well. Okay, let's talk about a different position. Is there any doubts in discover attack, anyone?
No.
Okay, awesome. So let's talk about a different puzzle. For this puzzle, I want everyone to answer me in the chat. So everyone, please open your chats and please answer me. We are playing from the white side and we need to do a discover attack. And in that discover attack, it is not necessary that we need to capture the knight or we need to gain an extra piece. It's like just a normal discover attack. We need to just do a normal discover attack.
Send it.
Yeah, I'm checking. I got the answer from Harshita. Okay, that's nice, Harshita. Good. Okay. I'm getting answers. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. So far, I got around 4 to 5 answers. I got answer from okay, Sam sir, Pavitra ma'am, Ashita ma'am. Okay, nice. Okay, Aruna ma'am, nice. Anita ma'am, okay. Kailash sir, okay, nice, nice. Okay. So basically, if you move the bishop anywhere, like it could be b3, it could be a2, it could be b5, e6, d5, e6, f7, or either g8. Any of these squares, if you move the bishop on any of these squares, what will happen? We are creating a discover attack. But if you want to take the knight by creating a distraction, it will be bishop to g8, right? That move will be bishop to g8. We created a distraction on the king. The king will go to safety. And while the king is distracted, we will capture the knight. Okay. Now let's move on to a different puzzle. Any doubts on this puzzle? Anyone? Sir, ma'am, anyone?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Awesome. So let's move to the next one. This time we have to do a discover attack, but at the same time, we need to capture the queen as well. Do a discover attack, but at the same time, capture the queen. This is a little different puzzle.
Rook
So-
to f8.
Okay, Ashita ma'am. Noted. Rook to f8.
Rook to f8.
Rook to f8. Okay. So far, I got answers.
we can
One
move
is
from,
rook to f8.
b3. Rook to b3 also.
Rook to b3. Okay, two answers. Any more? Any other answers? Okay, Aruna ma'am. Okay. Parents, please try to use the chats so that the parents who are calculating, they too can write it. Like, yes. So please try to use the chats. Okay. Anita ma'am. Okay. Nice. Okay, let's discuss the answer now. So there are two answers to this puzzle, basically. There are two answers to this puzzle. If we are playing rook to b3, it will be a check to the king. We are distracting the king, and while we are doing so, the queen is getting under attack, right? When we are playing rook to b3, the king is getting under attack, the king is getting distracted, right? And we also created a discover attack onto the queen. How this is a discover attack? Earlier, the bishop was attacking to the queen, but the rook was the cover, right? The rook was the piece which was covering the attack. When we removed that cover, the bishop unleashed the attack onto the queen. The king got attacked as well by the rook. The king got distracted. We got to the queen. Same way, if we are playing the rook to f8, till the rook is attacking the king, and the bishop created attack onto the queen. Yes, this is also correct. But in this position, there is one move that is queen to c8. Again, even if the queen goes to c8, the queen is still getting captured. Any doubts in this puzzle?
No, sir.
No,
Nice. Okay, now let's talk about a new kind of tactics. We talked about the discover attack. Let's talk about pin, P-I-N, pin. It's not our usual safety pin or the pin that we use to pin our notes. It's a different kind of pin. Basically, we say it's kind of a straight line. Okay, just give me a second. Let's start with the position, and then I will give you the definition about the pin. Okay, pinning. Yeah, can you guys see a different position on the board?
Yes, we can.
yes.
Okay, nice. So this is a different tactic. What happens in this calculation is, let's say we are having a rook. Again, we know the rook moves in a straight line like this. The rook moves in a straight line. In the straight line, what we can see, there are no white pieces in here. In the straight line, there are no white pieces. We are seeing black pieces. One is a bishop, and just behind the bishop, we are getting a king. How many points are there for the bishop? Who can tell me?
3.
How many points?
Three.
3 points for the bishop. And how many points for the king?
Infinite.
King is
Infinity.
infinite.
King will
Infinity.
be infinite points, or we can say unlimited points. So in other words, can we say the rook is creating a line of attack? This is the line of attack that the rook is creating. And in this line of attack, there is a lower value piece in the start, and there is a higher value piece at the end. Can we say this?
Yes.
So this is what is known as pinning. What happens in a pin is, in the definition, let's move on to the definition. We say there is a line of attack. There is a line of attack. And what happens in this line of attack is there is a lesser value piece in the start. Yes, there is a lesser value piece. There is a lesser value piece in the start. And higher value piece at the end. And higher value piece at the end. End. There is a line of attack in which there is a lesser value piece in the start and there is a higher value piece at the end. Value piece, higher value piece was missing. Okay, higher value piece at the end. Okay, in this form of pinning, can the bishop move anywhere? We know the bishop moves in a diagonal, but can this bishop actually move?
No.
No, because there is a direct attack on king. So it's kind of a pin. So you fix the position up like a bishop. They cannot move it.
Yes, exactly. We say because there's an attack will happen. If we are going to move the bishop anywhere, it could be anywhere. Let's say we are talking about this square. If we are moving the bishop over there, what will happen? As soon as the bishop will move from the e3 square, the rook is going to attack the king. And there's a rule in chess. There is a rule. This is a stone rule. We cannot change it. Basically, what this rule says is we cannot put our king into danger. If it is our turn, whatever we do, we cannot put our king in danger. If we are moving this bishop anywhere, it will be putting the black king into the danger. We cannot do that. So one thing for sure, according to this rule, we cannot move the bishop. If we are playing from the black side, then black king have to move. The bishop can't move. The black king will move. And wherever the black king moves, let's say we are the white side, wherever the black king moves, what we will do, we will simply get the bishop, taking a free piece. Yes, let's take another example. Let's talk about this position. We can see there is a king, which is a higher value piece. We all know that king got infinite points. And there is a rook. How many points for the rook? Yes, everyone. How many points for the rook?
5 points.
5 points. So this is a lesser value piece and this is the higher value piece. Can we say this is the line that we can imagine? We can imagine this type of line in which a lesser value piece is in front and a higher value piece is at the back, right? Can we imagine this line?
Yes.
Is there any piece on the board that can create a pin in this line?
Yes, bishop can create the pin. Bishop to h4.
Okay, bishop to h4. If you play the bishop on h4, what is happening? The bishop is creating a pin. Now, these were the two examples. Any doubts in the pinning? Because now we are about to start the calculation part in which you all have to answer in the chat. So any questions so far regarding pinning?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Awesome. So now let's move on to the positions now. Yes, so here we are playing from the white side and we need to create a pin. How can we do that? Please do answer in the chat. Okay, Harshita ma'am, nice. Aruna ma'am, Kailash sir, okay, good. Okay, now let's discuss the answer. Now. Okay, if we are playing from the white side, and yes, Sumesh sir, yeah, nice. All the answers that I'm getting, I think all of the answers are absolutely correct. Awesome job. Yeah. So if we have to create a pin over here, if we have to create a pin, we just need to move the rook to a1. As soon as we do that, rook created a line of attack in which the knight is the lesser value piece and the king is the higher value piece. Okay, one final puzzle. Okay, let's talk about this one. We are playing from the white side, and again, we need to create a pin. How can we do that? We need to again create a pin. How can we achieve that position? Yes. Harshita ma'am, correct. Shumis sir, correct. Kailash sir, correct. Aruna ma'am, yes, it's correct. Yeah, all the answers are correct. Nice. Yes, so the answer was queen to a8. We created another line of attack in which the lesser value piece is in front and there is this higher value piece at the end. Now let's talk about a new kind of tactics, which is opposite of pin. We learned in pin, there's a lesser value piece in the front and a higher value piece at the back. We learned that, right? Now let's talk about like what is this, like opposite of pin. How does it look like? If we are saying it is opposite of pin, how does it gonna look like? Let's rearrange few things. Discover attack, pin. Let's talk about skewer. This opposite thing of pin, which is, we say it is the opposite calculation, we say basically, it is known as the skewer. Skewer. This is exactly the opposite thing of pin. For an example, let's say I'm gonna arrange a position. Let's say we got a queen. There is a we got a queen, we got a king over here. Yes. We have a black queen too, and there is this knight. We have this position on board. Black to move, white to. Yes, we have this position. What we can say is this white queen is again creating a line of attack, as we all can see, right? It is white to play. White queen is creating this line of attack, but in this line of attack, there is a little change. In the start, we are getting a queen. How many points for the queen? How many points do a queen have?
9.
9 points. 9 points. And as we are moving forward on this line, what piece are we getting at the end? As soon as we cross the queen, what is the piece that we are getting at the end?
Knight with 3 points.
Knight with 3 points. Very good. Knight with 3 points. So in this, can we say the higher value piece is in front and the lower value piece is at the back? Yes?
Yes.
The higher value piece is in front and the lower value piece is at back. Okay, so this is what a skewer is, in which we say higher value piece is always in the front and there's a lower value piece at the back. So this is what a skewer is. So in short form or in small simple words, we say skewer is
Lower value piece is behind the higher value piece.
exactly is a line of attack in which lower value piece is behind the higher value piece. Higher value piece. We can also say it is opposite of a pin, or it is opposite of a pin. We can also say this. Either we can say skewer is a line of attack in which lower value piece is behind the higher value piece, or we can mention it is opposite of a pin. Okay, let's take an example of this. Let's take one more example. Just give me a second. Skewer. Yes. Let's have one more example. Okay, this time we are having the king over here and the queen. We know king got infinite value. So over here, the king is the higher value piece, and behind the king, we got the queen, which is got 9 points, right? So again, we can imagine a line of attack over here in which we can see a higher value piece in front and a lower value piece at the back. How can we do it? Like, how can we achieve skewer over here? Please answer me in the chat. How can we achieve this skewer? How can we achieve this skewer? Okay. Harshita ma'am, that is correct. Kailash sir, correct. Shomesh sir, okay, nice. It is correct. Okay. Jyotsana sir, Sam sir, Pavitra ma'am, okay. Your answers are correct. Nice. Aruna ma'am, we are playing from the white side. We are playing from the white side. We are playing with the white pieces. Okay. Let's discuss the answer now. Yes, Aruna ma'am, now it's correct. Awesome. So the answer to this position is, Indrajit sir, Anita ma'am, yes, your answers are absolutely right. So the answer to this position is rook to f1. Because when we play rook f1, we again are creating a line of attack in which the higher value piece is in front and the lower value piece is at the back. What is the idea? How can we use it in a tournament? Let's say we are playing a game. How can we use this tactic? This tactic is basically used to remove the higher value piece out of the line. Because again, if there will be a higher value piece in the front, what the opponents will do, what our opponents will do, they will think, okay, they will prioritize the safety of the higher value piece, right? The idea behind doing a skewer is we are forcing our opponent to move their higher value piece to safety, and when they're doing so, we are capturing the lower value piece. So this is the strategy, this is the idea behind this skewer. The idea is not to capture or to attack the higher value piece. That is something that we are forcing them to do so. They will prioritize the safety of the the higher value piece, and when they will do so, the idea is to get the lower value piece. Now let's take another example. Yes, let's move to the next one. Okay, let's talk about this one. This is again different, and again we are playing from the white side. We need to create a skewer. How can we create a skewer in this position? We can see there are two black pieces. One is on d5, another one is on g8. There are two pieces from the black side, and we need to again create a skewer over here. How can we create a skewer? Harshita ma'am, correct. Kailash sir, correct. Aruna ma'am, nice. It's correct. Somesh sir, yes, it is correct. Everyone answer is right. Okay, awesome. Nice. Let's wait for 1 more minute and then we will reveal the answer. Parents, please share your messages to me directly. While sending the messages, please choose the sender. Please choose the receiver as Abhishek Kumar and send it to me so that I can see it. Yeah. Indrajit sir, okay. Anita ma'am, okay. Awesome. Sam sir, yes, it is correct. Nice. Okay, now let's reveal the answer. The answer is bishop to b3. while we are doing bishop to b3, what is happening? The bishop is creating a line of attack in which the king is in front. This line of attacking is starting from the left hand side over here, and it is going to the right. Yes. So while we are starting from the left, what we can see, there's a higher value piece in the front and a lower value piece at the back. And when the king is going to safety, again, the idea is to make the king go somewhere safe, so that when the king is distracted, when our opponent is distracted in saving their king, what we can do, we can easily capture their rook. Let's say they are saving their king by moving somewhere. What we can do is we can get the rook like this. Okay. So is there any doubts on skewer, anyone? Is there any doubts like what a skewer is? Any more doubts regarding skewer? Yes?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So now let's move on to a new calculation. So far we have completed 3 calculations. One is discover attack, another one is pin, then we have skewer. We have we have done 3 calculations so far. Now let's talk about double check. Double check. I think this is a self-explanatory calculation, as it sounds like. Double check. Double means there will be 2, and check means there will be attack on the king. So double check. What happens in a double check is, we say in a double check, there are 2 pieces that are attacking the king at the same time. Let's write the definition for this one first. In a double check, or in this calculation, two pieces attack the king, A-T-T-A-C-K, attack the king at the same time. So let's remove few things from here. Let's remove the pointer for the impatient. A single pawn can do it once. I'm removing it now. Okay. Double check. In this calculation, 2 pieces attack the king at the same time. Let's take an example. Just give me a second. I'm changing the position. Okay, double check. Okay, let's take an example. In all the previous examples, we were having lesser number of pieces. This time we have the entire chessboard with that. Okay. Now, in here, let's say we are moving this knight to f6. We are moving this knight to f6. Number one, this is a discover attack because we removed the knight and we uncovered the attack to the king. Yes, we did a discover attack over here. But in addition to this discover attack, you will see the position, the square where we moved the knight, that knight from there on, it is attacking the king. Yes, where we move the knight to f6, not only the queen alone is attacking the king, but the 2 pieces that are attacking the black king at the same time. We just did one move and 2 pieces are there which is attacking the king at the same time. So this is what we say, 2 pieces attacking the king at the same time is known as double check. There is a nice fact about a double check. When we are attacking a piece, when we are attacking the king with 2 pieces at once, the king can't block the attack. The king have to run away. In this position, it is a checkmate as the king can't run away anywhere, as the knight is blocking the square, this one. And you can't actually block the attack. Why you can't block the attack? Why you cannot defend from this attack? Reason, if you're gonna play the queen on e7 so that you can save the king from the queen, then the knight will attack. Let's suppose you're capturing the knight with your knight, then the queen will attack the king basically. If you stop attack from one piece, the other piece will attack the king. Because of this reason we say, whenever a king is under a double attack, there is only one option, and that option is to run away. Right now, there is no particular square for the king to run as the knight is blocking it. So it is a checkmate. We did a double check, and at the same time, a checkmate happened too. Right? Any doubts in this puzzle, in this example?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, nice. Let's do one more example, and then we can start with some real puzzles. Yeah. We got the position over here. As you can see, again, we are playing from the white side, and we need to do a double check over here, a double check. Again, there is a king, there is the rook, and here is the bishop. So where can we play the bishop so that it will be a double check? Where to play the bishop, it will be a double check. That's the question.
Yeah.
Sir,
B5.
bishop to, we have to send it to
B5.
start or
You can send me to,
Bishop
ma'am.
B5.
If you want, you can send me to. This is again one
Yes.
example.
bishop to B5.
Bishop to B5. Okay. Harshita ma'am, Sam sir, Kailash sir, okay, same answers. Warning Desai ma'am, okay, correct. Indrajit sir, correct. Sumit sir, correct. Okay. I got the answers from everyone. And everyone's answer is absolutely correct. It's all right. The answer is bishop to B5. Double check. It's double. Kuldeep sir, Aruna ma'am. Yes, your answers are absolutely correct. It is a double check. When we are playing the bishop onto B5, not only the rook is attacking the bishop, but also not only the rook is attacking the king, but also the bishop is attacking the king. So two pieces attacking the king at the same time. We say it's a double check. Very good. Okay. One last puzzle on double check. This is the main puzzle. This time try to answer me in the chat. Yeah, I hope everyone can see a new puzzle over here. Again, we are playing from the white side and we need to do a double check. Just a double check. What move should we perform so that we can have a double check on board? We just need to do a double check. That's it. Okay. Harshita ma'am, correct. Aruna ma'am, yes, correct. Sumit sir, yes, correct. Jyotsha ma'am, yes, it is correct. Indrajit sir, correct. Sam sir, nice. Sir, bishop A1. Okay, I got to answer bishop A1. Okay. Let's say our bishop is on D2, another bishop is on F1. Can we play the bishop on A1? Okay, sir. Bishop B5. Pavitra ma'am, bishop to D3. Okay, sir, got it. Parin Desai ma'am, okay. Kuldeep sir, correct. Kuldeep sir gave two answers. They both are correct. Okay, awesome. Kailash sir, okay. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Yes, Sam sir, that is correct. Good. So as mentioned, there are two double checks that we can do over here. There are two double checks that we can do, and all the answers that I received, they all were correct. Okay, there are two double checks. One is either bishop to G5. This is one double check, because when we are playing the bishop to G5, again the bishop is attacking the king and the rook is attacking the king. Yes, they both are attacking. And even if you play the bishop on A5 instead of G5, if you play the bishop on A5, still what we are seeing is the bishop is still attacking the king and the rook is still attacking the king. Both the pieces are attacking the king. So again, this is a form of double check. Awesome, awesome. So any doubts regarding this puzzle? We again did a double check. So any doubts regarding this puzzle?
No, sir.
Awesome. I just want to add a little information for this puzzle, and that is when we are playing bishop to G5, the king will run again. Because it is a double check, we cannot basically block it. The black cannot block it because there are two pieces attacking the king. If you block an attack from one piece, the other piece will attack, right? So we cannot do it right now. So the king have to move. If the king moves to E8, this is additional information. If the king moves to E8, rook to D8 will be a checkmate. Is it a checkmate? Is it
Yes,
a
sir.
checkmate, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Nice. There is one more move. While we are doing a double check, we saw the king can move to E8, and also there is one more square where the king can move. That is C7. If the king moves to C7, there is again checkmate in one. Please tell me in the chat, like, what is the checkmate in one move? How can we do a checkmate in one? This is nothing to do with a double check right now. We are just solving a puzzle as checkmate in one. Can anyone tell me in the chat how can we do a checkmate in one over here? How a checkmate in one is possible? Indrajit sir, okay, that is correct, sir. Sumit sir, correct. Arshita ma'am, correct. Yeah, nice. Aruna ma'am, yes, that's the answer. Good. Okay. Okay, nice. So, yes, Samsung, that's the correct answer. Where in this side, ma'am? Move the, okay, that is correct. That is correct. Nice. Yeah. Again, Jyotsa ma'am. Yeah, that is correct, ma'am. Yeah, that answer is absolutely correct. With ma'am. If you play the rook on d7, the bishop will capture us. If you play the rook on d7, the bishop will capture us. This will not be a checkmate because the piece which was attacking the king got captured. So the attack also got nullified. So rook d7 is not a checkmate. The correct answer is bishop to d8. How bishop to d8 is working? Number one thing to notice is this bishop is attacking the king on this diagonal. Can the king capture this bishop? The answer is no. Why? Because the rook is protecting the bishop. Because the rook is protecting the bishop. Number one. Number two, the king can't run to neither to d7 nor to d6. Why? Because against the rook is attacking the entire file of d, right? The entire d file is under attack by the rook. So the king can't go to d5. If the king thinks to go to b6, the idea will not work because the bishop will attack the king. Bishop is still attacking the king onto that diagonal. So when we are doing bishop to d8, it will give us the checkmate. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Nice. Okay, so far we did around 4 calculations. Let's do one last calculation. This calculation is about, let's talk about, we talked about skewer, we talked about pinning, double check, double attack, nice. Okay, let's talk about discover check. Let's talk about discover check. We talked about discover attack, but we never talked about discover check. It is a combination of discover attack and check. Okay, let's write the topic. Discover check. DISCOVER, discover check. Any ideas what it could be all about? What is this discover check could be all about? Yes. Discover check. Number one thing we can say, because discovered word is there, so something related to discover attack. Okay, let's take an example. First, I will talk about discovered attack so that I can distinguish between discover attack and discover check. Let's say we have a queen over here, black queen, and we have a knight. We have a position like this, and yes, it is white to play. In discover attack, we have mentioned attack which can be done by moving our piece, and the piece behind it creates the attack. That is what we have learned in the discover attack. This is the rook, this is the knight. When we are removing the knight to any other square, what we are seeing is this rook is creating an attack to the queen. We uncovered the attack by moving the knight. So this is how we created the discovered attack. But discovered check is little different. Discovered check is little different. What happens in a discovered check is the target is fixed. Over here in this position, the target was the queen. In place of the queen, it could be the knight as well. Let's say we are placing the knight over here. In place of the queen, it could be a knight as well. If you move the knight to g5, again, the rook is attacking the knight. This is also a form of discover attack. In place of the knight, it could be any piece. That will still be a discovered attack. But in discover check, this target that we are targeting to capture, basically, that target is fixed. That target name is the king. That is why instead of attack, we are putting a check. Now have a look in this position. Now, if we remove the knight somewhere, what we are seeing is the rook is attacking the king. The target is same over here. The target is the king. Instead of the queen, knight, rook, any other piece, we have the king over here, and the rook is attacking the king. That changes to the king right now. In discover attack, the target is not fixed. It could be anything. But in discover check, we are fixing the target to the king. Let's write the definition of this discover check. It will be same as discover attack, but instead of the piece which we are attacking will be the king. So we write attack done by moving our piece while the piece behind it attack the king. This time we are mentioning like we are attacking the king. Attack done by moving our piece while the piece piece behind it attacks the king. Okay, let's shorten the definition of skewer. Okay. Or it's the opposite of pin. I think we can write it in a same line. We can write it in a same line. Okay. Let's make it go. Yeah, discover check. Attack done by moving our piece while the piece behind it attacks the king. Let's have another example. Let's say this time we are having a rook. Let's say this time we are having a bishop on B. We have a knight. We have a king over here. And instead of the queen, we are having a black rook around here. Let's move the king. It is white to play. Yeah, so we have this position now, in which what we can see is this bishop on B2 is attacking the king on H8, but there is a cover in the form of knight. There's a knight which is covering the attack from the bishop to the king, right? So if we play the knight on F5, can we say when we move the knight away, the bishop uncovered the attack. The bishop is now attacking the king. The bishop uncovered the attack. So, and that attack which we uncovered right now, that attack is onto the king. So instead of saying that discovered attack, we will say a discovered check. Okay. So this is how discover check looks like. Any doubts on discover check?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so let's move on to a real puzzle. Please answer the puzzle solution. Please put the puzzle solution in the chat. Here we go. We are playing from the black side. Yeah, let's flip the board. We are playing from the black side and we need to do a discovered check. Somehow we need to do a discovered check over here. How can we do it? There are few moves that can give us a discovered check over here. Okay, yes, that is one way of doing discovered check. Yes, Sumesha, correct. Kailash sir, okay, we can do a discover attack. Yes, that is also right. There are four ways, there are four moves by which we can do a discovered attack over here. There are four moves basically. Jyotsha ma'am, that is correct. Harshita ma'am, correct. Aruna ma'am, okay, correct. Please try to answer me directly. Okay, Sam sir, that is correct. Nice. Kuldeep sir. Bishop. Kuldeep sir, that is correct. That is correct. Nice. You figure out a checkmate. Nice. Sumesh sir, that is correct. That is also correct. Sumesh sir gave me two answers. They both are nice. Okay. Bishop Yes, Sumisha, that is also correct. Yeah, this is also correct. Okay, let's wait for 1 more minute. Bishop. Sam sir, yes, we will discuss this move. We are going to discuss this bishop move. Yeah. Pavitra ma'am. Okay. Let's discuss this move as well. Yes, Pavitra ma'am. So, Kailash sir, bishop. Yes, sir. That is correct. Kailash sir. Yeah. There are few moves that I want to discuss. Let's wait for 10 more seconds. Then we can start our discussion. Okay, everyone, let's start. I got different moves. Let's start with knight h7. When we play the move knight h7, is there any kind of attack on the white king? Is there any kind of attack onto the white king?
No.
No, because after doing knight h7, there is no attack onto the white king. We say this is not a discovered check, because check means attack on the king. When we play knight h7, as there is no check happening onto the king, we cannot say this is a discovered check. Okay. Now let's talk about another moves that I was receiving. Bishop g1 is correct. We are doing a double check, not exactly double check. We are doing a discovered check. When we are doing bishop to g3, again we are doing a discovered check. Bishop to f4, that is also correct. Bishop to e5, again we are doing a discovered check. So it doesn't matter where we play the bishop. Any move that we are doing with the bishop is resulting in a discovered check. Okay. But in all these four moves that we are having from the bishop, like g3, f4, e5, g1, all these moves that we are having from the bishop, only one move can basically one move can lead us to a checkmate. All these moves will lead you to a discovered check. That is correct. But there's only one move that can lead us to a checkmate. That is bishop to g1. When we do this move, the king is under attack. Let's say the king captures the bishop. It's a checkmate in one. And that is queen to h2. Queen to h2. Some parents actually figure out the entire checkmate move. So that's nice. They actually calculate the entire thing together. Okay. So parents, everyone, that's it from my side today. Now Abbas sir is going to take over and he will explain you how can we create a Chess ID so that we can have a game on that online platform. Yes, sir, please.
Thank you, sir. Can you please stop the share once?
Yes, sir.
Hi, parents. Hope this was a knowledgeable session.
Yes, sir.
Okay, before we move to
Yes,
leeches,
it did.
any questions, anyone with the topics which we discussed today?
No, sir.
No question. It's fine. And I think like that handout also, like, it helped to for the quick review.
That's nice. Okay. And just a quick reminder, today's session is being live streamed on YouTube. So you can watch the entire session again. And if the kids wants to have a revision of these topics, they can watch it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, now
regarding
yes. Okay. So we'll be having the main event in the month of May, and that will be played on the platform of Chess. So like kids are having a Chess account. Similarly, I would request every parent to create a Chess account. Please don't use a kids account. Okay. So very quickly we'll go through it, how to create a Chess account and then what are the steps of registration. So it's a very simple process. Let me just share my screen. I'll be sharing all of these links in step-by-step process again in the WhatsApp group. So if anyone who is not able to do it right now can do it later also. So I'll be sharing the link. Once you click on that link, you will land up on this page of registration. You just need to mention a username, anything of your choice. This has to be unique, password followed by the mail ID, and then just agree the terms and conditions and then register. Once you do this much, you will get a verification link on your mail ID, the one which you will mention over here. Just verify the mail and that's it. The account is created on Leeches. What is the next step? So after creating the account, what you need to do is, suppose I'll sign up to my account once. Okay. So after creating the account, you need to send a request to join the team. So basically you've created a team specifically for parents, or else any outsider can join the tournament. So I'll be sharing the link for this also. You just need to press the join team button and then just send the join team request. That's it. So this is step number 2. First of all, create the Leeches account and then send the request to join the team. Next, please fill a form.